YouTube, time to tap in this week's chat today. What we're doing is talking everything Season 4 loadouts, attachments, guns, everything that you need to know to figure out what gun best suits you after the MG82 nerf. Now, recording this as of right now, it has not been nerfed, but Raven has already talked about a nerf going out, so that will not be in my top tier gun list because it will be nerfed, and for me, the LMG just ain't it for me. But I do want to say thank you for stopping through, watching this video, maybe learning a thing or two about the attachments and the guns that I use, tried to get better at Warzone. It really means a lot, and it would mean a lot more if you liked, subbed, noties on the whole nine, try to help grow my YouTube channel. Leave a comment, tell me if I forgot any guns. I really appreciate your feedback. Enjoy the video, enjoy your week. I'll be back next week streaming live on Twitch. Make sure you drop the follow in there. Be part of the chat community. We're growing every single day, baby. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll catch you next one. Alright, so you guys know how I do these loadout videos. I'm going to be running through my entire loadout list of the guns that I have ready, the builds that I have for them. We're going to talk about attachments and what we're going to be doing with those attachments and how you can tailor different guns to suit your needs. And then I got true game data already loaded up, ready to go for after I show you all of my loadouts, run through my list, and then I'm going to show you why all of these guns and where they stack up against each other in time to kill with both ARs and SMG. So stick around for the end for that. So for the first loadout, what I got, I still run the RAM and the MP5. Since the new season has launched, I haven't ran this as much just because I've been testing out other guns and trying to get a vibe just so I can be able to put this video out and know what I'm talking about and be able to get a feel for each gun and tell you why and where to use it and why I have it in my loadout. So number one, still, I think as of right now, still today, the only one that might contest my RAMs and ARs is C58, just for consistency reasons. But as of right now, in this very moment, if I was running a tournament, I would still probably run my RAM 7 with my Cold War MP5. So the RAM 7, you guys know what it is. The only differentiation of Modern Warfare guns to Cold War guns is Cold War guns, you can run it a couple different ways. Modern Warfare ARs, it's pretty simple. You have the monolithic for your damage range and just being suppressed. You have your longest barrel, whatever it may be. For this example, it is going to be the Ranger barrel. I run a VOK. You can maybe run a hollow optic. For optic users itself, just so you know, reflexes are going to be a 1.0 magnification. Hollows are 1.5, and then everything else is how they say they are. So I run a VOK. I run a T-pose on mine. A lot of people actually ask me how to get the T-pose, and you have to go to the reticle section and you have to unlock each one of these at a time to unlock the next one using, you know, different various challenges. So that's how you get that. And then I do run the Commando foreguard pretty much on all of my ARs. It does the most recoil control without taking some of your ADS speed out, because ADS speed is a lot of things for AR fights. You want to make sure that you're getting down sight faster than the other person if you guys are both going to be shooting at the same time. And then obviously an extended mag, which is going to be also standard on pretty much every single gun as well. On that, as my main loadout, I'm going to be running the Cold War MP5. This is where things get interesting, because you can run this gun specifically a lot of different ways. For me specifically, I do run the agency suppressor over the sound suppressor. There are different builds that you can run with this. This is a little bit more mobile for the sound suppressor, but the damage range is already terrible on this thing, and I have changed it up a little bit since putting out a video on TikTok about this gun. You can run the sound suppressor for a little bit faster mobile speed, but with this gun, it's already pretty fast. So I do run the agency suppressor to try to help its weakest point, which is its damage range. So I run the agency suppressor, Tiger Team Spotlight. I did go off of the SOF target designator, which gave more damage range. I don't know if I've noticed a difference or not. I have noticed recently there was a couple fights that I yesterday on stream lost a range that I don't feel like I should have lost because of the damage fall off. So I might be going back to the target designator. I have also looked into the Ember sight point. It takes away ADS speed though, so you would have to almost run this with like a serpent wrap or the airborne elastic wrap to try to counteract its ADS time, because I'm not using this gun to hip fire. I'm using it to ADS 9 out of 10 times because I'm on controller. So kind of different lasers you can work with. Tiger Team Spotlight is going to be the one that pretty much everybody uses on this Cold War MP5 specifically. You could definitely go to the SOF target designator to try to help with some more of that damage range fall off. I am going to be running the Raider stock on this. I have seen people trying to use the combat stock because the this other stock that you'll see on my Bullfrog actually is supposed to help with the shooting speed. So it's kind of that strafe speed that was really broken with a lot of the Cold War guns when the double AR meta was at its highest with the AK and the XM4, where you in the FARA where you were shooting and strafing insanely fast. So people are kind of still seeing if that's viable or not. For me specifically, I like the sprint to fire time, so I'm gonna be running the Raider stock on that. The bruiser grip is what I go back and forth with. The patrol grip is the other one. I've seen different opinions about this. Bruiser grip gives you movement speed. The patrol grip gives you sprinting move speed. JGod has said that bruiser grip also gives you sprinting to move speed. And then True Game Data said the exact same thing about the patrol grip and the movement speed. So I'm not sure which one to run as of right now. I got the bruiser on it just because it gives me also hip fire accuracy, which does come in handy from time to time. So I do run that. For the mag itself, I don't know if the drums are still going to be the move or not. I kind of just run the fast mag on this more for aesthetic because I have this blueprint on there. So either run a drum mag or a fast mag. For SMGs, it doesn't matter as much. And some ARs you will definitely notice a difference for ADS speed. So you know, maybe if you know things are consistent through weapon classes, maybe just run a drum mag. So that's kind of an MP5 breakdown. Damage range is its biggest fall off, but outside of 9 meters it does drop very fast. But under those 9 meters, you're a sub 500 TTK, 500 milliseconds, being kind of like the average of a lot of guns, but you're going to be much under that, like low 400s if you were hitting your shots with this gun. So that's why I love it. You know me, if you watch me on stream, I'm very aggressive, so I'll shut up about the Cold War MP5, but this is definitely be my #1 loadout. Be the Ram 7 with the Cold War MP5. Perks, I didn't go over perks last time. I did get a couple DMs on what I run, so I just want to make sure I cover all my bases. Double time instead of EOD because I just am a maniac. I'm mobility. I like to attack sprint. I like to move as fast as possible. Does with double time 100%. Overkill, obviously first loadout, you can go restock if you're a psycho for your second loadout, but usually Ghost is pretty much everybody goes. Amped is pretty much the only one that anybody ever runs for perk 3. There's no reason for any other perk. I do run throwing knives. I've noticed them to be the most beneficial for my play style, right? I'm splitting from my team. All of us, depending who I'm playing with, will either go 2-2 split. We might all solo split if it's a good game. So I want to make sure that I have enough bullets to take on a 4-man, right? Worst possible case scenario, I am a 1v4 and I don't have bullets to shoot people, and I'm not finishing them on the ground by shooting them. So that's why I run my throwing knives. It's the move for sweats. I think it's very beneficial. Saves you ammo, saves you time. And I will say that I've gotten so used to them now that if I'm about to lose a gunfight and I know I can break one plate, that I'm throwing knife them for the instant down. So as long as you land like 2 bullets on somebody, they're not going to be fully plated, and if they're 2 plated, it is an instant knock. So something to think about as well. I do run stuns. I'm seeing more controversy about this based off of TikTok and that kind of stuff. I run stuns because if you are a good player with flashes, you can try to maneuver your way in a building, out of a building. If you're flashed, you can try to still just blind fire in a direction that you think you're getting shot from, whether it's like a narrow stairwell or whatever it may be. Flashes for the better players, I feel like, are less effective than stuns, right? Stuns is you're screwed, and just pray to God that you don't get pushed while you're stunned. Obviously, people do run heartbeats. It's not for me, really. I think that my KD would go up, and I would probably have better game sense with it. But stuns for me right now are kind of just the move. I've been thinking about the idea of going back to a heartbeat, but kind of personal preference for your tactical. All that being said, let's get into the rest of the guns. So Ram, MP5, my tourney loadout. AMAX did get another nerf with this last update. I'm gonna run the Mono, the Zodiac, Barrel, VOK, 45 Commando, same exact loadout as the Ram, same blueprint type of thing with the attachments. With the current nerf, it takes 1 more bullet now for chest shots just so you know, on the AMAX. So it has been nerfed 3 times now, but they've been very, very minor. They're still trying to make AMAX good, but not overpowered and not something that's the only gun that people are running at range. I have this with the XM4 as an SMG. This gun is probably the most versatile gun that you can run in the game. You can run it as an SMG, sniper support, and an AR. I have this as my loadout. You can definitely run this a variation of different ways. Since the barrels have all been updated for specifically ARs as an AR, there's not really a reason to run a barrel on an AR as an SMG. So no barrel. I use this suppressor, not the agency, just for the mobility of it and the ADS speed. You can definitely run the agency if you feel like you're not getting as much as you want for the damage range, but I'm gonna be running the suppressor on there. Tiger Team Spotlight for the mobility because it is an AR, so it's a heavier gun. Raider pad for the sprint to fire time. 45 round mag, so I don't lose any ADS speed. I have seen people have been running the 60 rounder, but again, preference. I want to keep light on my feet and try to be able to move with this thing because again, it is an AR, so it is a little bit heavier. And lastly, the airborne elastic wrap. I did see something come out with JGod. Again, credit to him that the airborne elastic wrap does the most for ADS speed help. So if you're trying to use a gun that needs help in that direction, airborne elastic wrap over the serpent wrap as of right now. My third class, you guys know what it is, my baby, the DMR. So on the latest patch, they did nerf the recoil after DMR zone was king. Obviously, they needed to put this thing into the ground because of how lethal and how traumatic it was for a lot of people. This is my baby. I still love it, man. It's an absolute beast. If you can hit your shots with this thing, mid-range, it's insane. Longer range, you need to tap fire a little bit slower because there is a little bit more bounce than there used to be, of course. Even close range, you can try to just tap fire as fast as possible and get away with this. So agency silencer for, you know, bullet velocity, damage range, the whole 9. And then the only thing that might change from person to person is the barrel, but for me, I run the rapid fire. It is the only barrel that gives you fire rate increase without decreasing your damage range. So we all used to run the titanium, but the damage range fall off has been significantly reduced with that, so it may not be worth it. And then the other ones are not helping any sort of fire rate. Strike team, maybe you can make a case for. Again, you're losing effective damage range. So I do run the rapid fire, so I don't lose any damage range fall off. Gaining some of that damage range fall off with the agency and going from there. Field agent foregrip to help with that recoil. 30 round mag as well as the axle arms 3 times. You can run this maybe with the standard mag and then throw the wrap on there for ADS speed if you think it's too slow, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. It depends on the day with this gun more than anything. You can absolutely fry kids with it. Aiden has put out some YouTube video about him dropping 39 with it. Gun is very, very good, very, very viable. It's just a matter of how sweaty and how precise you're feeling more than anything. Right now, PPSH with that. My top 3 ARs right now that you guys are going to see, and I'll just tell you off the top, is going to be the Cold War MP5, which I've already showed you, this PPSH, as well as the Milano, believe it or not. So we're going to be running the sound suppressor on this. Kind of the same thing. Just want to be as fast as possible with this. Task Force barrel for the strafe speed with this gun. Tiger Team Spotlight for the mobility. Sprint to fire time with the stock. And the 71 drum. Some people can run the 55 drum, but because this doesn't have the fastest time to kill in the game, I like to have those extra bullets to be maneuvering as fast as possible. And because this gun has the fastest sprint to fire time and ADS speed in the game, it's almost instant. And with the 70 round drum, it doesn't even hurt it, or it doesn't feel even remotely different than the 55. Mobility a little bit with your bigger mag, but that's preference, and that's what I have been running as well. So PPSH is really, really good, super mobile with it. So you guys know me, I'm a crackhead mobility player, so it's definitely grown on me a lot. We're gonna be going to the C58. I've called the Kilo as a meta. I've called different guns as meta. I think that this will overtake the AMAX players, which is going to be a lot of the pro players and big streamers. This is going to be a very good gun, and you guys are going to see the stats on True Game Data after we go over the loadouts. So, agency suppressor, task force barrel, 3 times field agent grip, and 45 round drum. I've played with a couple different things on this. I don't know what I like more. This is what I currently am using. Try it out for yourself and let me know. I've definitely gone to the 55 round drum, and I've went to the suppressor to help with ADS speed because of the extra 10 rounds. So they've definitely made these Cold War ARs as something more versatile. Like if you don't want to run the task force barrel because you lose all of those cons, right? You can definitely go to the which one is it? The Ranger, which still gives you the bullet velocity, but you don't lose all the ADS speed, for sprint to fire time, all that kind of stuff. So you can go Ranger with the agency and the 55 round drum because your barrel is different. So play with whatever you think it is. I would definitely either go the Ranger or the task force barrel, 55 or the 45 round drum, agency or the regular suppressor. So that is kind of where I have found myself figuring out this weapon. This gun hits very, very hard, but it has a slow rate of fire. So you have to make sure that when you are shooting somebody and you're in a gunfight that you're hitting your shots. I know that's a very obvious statement, but this is a very penalizing gun because of the rate of fire is so slow. So making sure that you're hitting your chest shots and your head shots as fast as possible and being on target, because you will lose a fight if you miss one bullet with this gun because it is a slower rate of fire. The Milano, my God. So since season 4 came out, they buffed the crap out of the Milano. It feels very good. The strafe speed on it feels amazing. The mobility, the damage, it genuinely feels amazing. I did not think that this would be something that would be in my loadout, but this is like my 3rd favorite AR. It's got more range than the PPSH, and you guys are going to see in True Game Data where it stacks up against other SMGs. So, sound suppressor for the mobility, task force barrel, Tiger Team, Raider, and the 55 round drum. Same blueprint as the PPSH. You can definitely change this. We're going to go agency if you want. Again, there's some different things that you can run on this gun, but mobility is really good on it. Recoil is not bad. Even the irons aren't terrible. So Milano has definitely grown on me since season 4 came out. We got the FARA, which is going to be kind of like, a Kilo. Not a lot of recoil, hits pretty hard, and yeah, kind of like a Kilo low-key. C58 definitely does more damage, but it does have a slower rate of fire. You guys are gonna see again where this stacks up with True Game Data after I go through my loadouts. Grew suppressor, the last Spetsnaz barrel, 45 rounder Spetsnaz grip, and the 3 times on this as well. They reworked all of the scopes, if I didn't mention that before, so the 3 times, the 4 times, and the SUSAT all look different now. Kind of the same thing with the C58. You can go different suppressors. You can go with a speed mag because this reload speed is terrible, but then you lose a little bit of ADS speed. So it's kind of figuring out where you're at. So if you're a less aggressive player, maybe you run the 60 rounder and then you throw this suppressor on it. So I mean, going between the 2 different barrels that give you bullet velocity, going between the 2 different suppressors that change your ADS speed and your mag, right? So if you're going to be going the 60 round mag, your ADS is going to be terrible, so you don't want to run the Grew suppressor. You're going to probably run the regular suppressor. There's something to think about while you're building these guns, and even with this gun specifically, the recoil is not bad at all. So you want to go, meta, big D energy. You take off the underbarrel, right? Take off the underbarrel, and then you go the elastic wrap. So then you have the big suppressor, you have the big barrel that gives you the most benefits, you have the 60 rounds so you can fire, and you have the ADS speed to catch up with the rear wrap. So something to think about with all of these when you're building your guns. Bullfrog has been reworked. It's been silent nerfed apparently according to Exclusive Ace. This gun is still really good. Don't know, it's probably my 4th spot after I told you my top 3. Got the Grew suppressor, task force barrel, Tiger Team. This stock is different from the other ones that I have ran. This would be technically the stock that I'd be running with all the other SMGs, but this one feels a little bit different with the firing speed and like that strafe speed while you're in a gunfight. It feels really nice. So I've been kind of testing out with that and seeing what I like on my TikTok that I put on the top 3 SMGs. I did have a no stock on there as well. So again, all preference. Warzone is in a great spot right now outside of the MG82 where you can feel like you can literally run pretty much any single gun with a variety of different attachments. So definitely in a very healthy spot. I do have the bruiser grip on this. You can definitely change this out for a bigger mag, or even the fast mag if that's something that you wanted to do. I find that the 50 standard is fine, and it doesn't really affect me a whole lot, but I do pick up a lot of Bullfrog after killing somebody, or even just ground loot, whatever, that have the 65 on there. And the fast mag itself is actually really good. I wouldn't really go past one of these two because you start to lose a lot of ADS speed after these first two. We got sniper support. My sniper class, you guys know I'm not a sniper. Sometimes I pull it out every now and again. I tried running the SPR. I just don't snipe enough to get good with it. I'm decent with the Car 98, so stipple grip tape, sniper, tack, longest barrel, monolithic. We're not gonna spend too much time on this one. I do want to talk about this AK because I do have it in my SMG true game data. I don't have it in my AR one because I'm using the AK as an SMG. The rate of fire is kind of bad on it. Recoil at range is not the best, even with the new reworks of the attachments. So I would not recommend the AK as an AR for longer ranges. Rebirth, it's insane. But for Verdansk, where it really matters and where it counts on those longer engagements, kind of the same class as the DMR, is that short range, you're fine. Medium range, you're fine. Mid-long, be skillful. Longer ranges, chalk it, because it's just not the gun for you. So I do run this as my sniper support. I have ran this as my meta loadout. I ran this in one tournament. Got the suppressor right here for the ADS speed, just like how, you know, you'd run the Groove versus this one. I do run this last barrel, although with now this rework, this is a sniper support. So I want to make sure that I'm able to still stay down on my target with this. But if I didn't want to, I could take this off and we can go with the Gru elastic wrap and kind of run it that way too if I wanted to for a little bit more mobility. We can take the optic off if you don't like the, you know, I hate these irons. You can go with the stock with it. So the AK itself as well is going to be kind of in the XM4 range, but the XM4 is more viable as an AR. But you can kind of do the same thing where you can do, you know, an optic if you want. You can do an underbarrel. You can do a variety of different things. So I kind of went over the attachments on the different ways you can run it. So just think about that while you're building out your AK. For my test class, like I said, I do have the XM4 as an AR. We got the suppressor because the ADS isn't the best on this gun, and I do have the 60 rounder on this to try to get as much bullets as possible. I can definitely go this route, but the recoil isn't like the FARA, so I want the Field Agent 4 grip. Maybe I can run the Ranger barrel instead of that one. Again, same exact conversation I've been having. I'm beating a dead horse at this point. So XM4 is an AR, very, very good. I recommend it. You can try it out, see if you like it, and, you know, kind of go from there. I do have the Mac 10 on my test class. Another gun that people build completely different from person to person. The time to kill has kind of been nerfed, I guess you could say, since it has been nerfed. This gun is still really good. It's really reliable. It's very user friendly. I wouldn't put it in my top 3, but it is still very, very good. You just got to be careful about getting in close range engagements, because if somebody hits a headshot with a Bullfrog, if you're in an MP5 range, it's gonna melt you and you're gonna regret it. So we got the sound suppressor, we got the Task Force barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight, no stock 53 round drum. And for the last two, I do have my AR Ghost. This is the MG82. This is currently the broken gun in Warzone. I don't know if this is going to be, it will be nerfed by the time this video comes out, but as of right now, this is not nerfed. So I do have it on my Ghost class to pick it up. Agency suppressor, task barrel 3 times, serpent rep, which I should be using the airborne elastic, and the Field Agent 4 grip. I run that with my Sykovs as my secondary. This gun still really helps me out when I am on Ghost class and try to pick that up even if I don't have my SMG on me. So I do run the monolithic, the fully auto barrels, tac laser, the Elita recoil control, and the 80 round drum. Still really good weapon to have in your pocket. Just the mobility on it is not great. And then I got my Cold War MP5 on my Ghost class as well. Fully loaded SOS. I just got the RAM without the sight because that's my baby. Sykov's on there as well. And those are going to be the top guns. We're going to go over to true game data right now, show you the graphs, show you the charts, talk about the time to kills within the game or within the guns, and go from there. All right, shout out to True Game Data for all of this. This man is amazing. He puts in all of the analytics behind every single gun and all of the attachments every single season so that we can keep our knowledge as players up when it's gun versus gun and seeing how they stack up next to each other. So this is going to be our AR graph. These are base stats with no attachments so we can get the pure base stats and values of all these different guns. So these are all 5 of the ARs that I have in my loadout list, and you can see close up to about 30 meters, 25 meters. The C58 actually hits really hard, which is going to be this orange one right here, and then we have the green one, which is going to be the RAM, and then after that is going to be the AMAX, and that's up to 30 meters, which is going to be a pretty shorter range. So after this damage fall off, which happens around 28 meters give or take for a lot of these different guns right here, you're going to see that the C58 definitely holds true to its form at range. It is still very, very good. 40 to 60-ish meters, kind of this part right here, as we're gonna be most of your AR fights are gonna be happening. So you're definitely gonna see a lot of C58s, I think, from pro players genuinely. And with that, the XM4 is gonna be competitive, AMAX competitive. The Ram 7 does miss its mark a little bit, loses a little bit of its versatility on these chest shots, and that'll change from completely different parts of the body. So these are gonna be chest shots. C58 hits very good, and you'll see that the FARA as well is kind of like not the best for chest shots specifically. So let's go to headshots, and this is where the RAM comes in. RAM up to 30 meters almost is gonna be really, really good. It does have a damage fall off, and then it kind of becomes not as great. You're gonna see that the XM4 with headshots throw into the mix, because you're not going to hit only headshots obviously unless you're cheating, and I'm assuming if you're watching this you're not cheating. So you got to think that you're not going to be hitting all headshots. You're going to be mixing in different parts of the body that you're hitting in your sprays. So you throw in a headshot. Different guns have different values for the headshot multiplier, and within different regions as well, stomach shots and extremity shots. Just to give you an overall idea. So the RAM is really, really good up close, as we can all see that. And then at 30 meters, it does have the furthest drop off, which is a really good thing. And that'll increase even more as you get more attachments on it. But like I said, I want to do just base stats. So at the same range we were talking about earlier, the 40 to 60 range with the headshot mixed in. XM4 is first, and we have the C58 again. And the AMAX and the RAM are neck and neck for a headshot, and then the FAR just kind of doesn't really do anything there. On stomach shots, again, RAM very, very good up close. C58 at the 40 to 60 range we were talking about is going to be number 1. We have the XM4 out there as well on stomach shots. AMAX definitely does not hit its mark right there. FARA catches up on that. And then we go to extremities, which is, maybe tracking. You're tracking somebody left to right, right to left. You might hit an extremity. You never know. So it's good to have those values as well. XM4 has the fastest time to kill in the game. I remember when it got buffed recently at Season 4 launch, or Season 3 launch, the XM4 got buffed for extremities, which is very, very interesting. So something to think about as well. The FAR on extremities gets really good. The RAM is very good as well. And then for some reason, the C58 and the AMAX just don't hit hard at all. So overall, through all of those different regions, you can definitely see that the C58 is probably the most consistent, because you're going to be hitting most of your shots in the stomach, chest, and head. And the C58 does do the best at that. You just got to make sure that you are hitting your shots because of the slow rate of fire. So something to think about. And then we're going to go to the SMGs. So this is going to be chest shots right off of rip. This is going to be the Cold War AK down here at the bottom. Very, very, very fast. SMGs, we're going to focus probably on like maybe up to 20 meters. So it's going to be all this damage fall off range right here. As you can see, this light blue one is going to be the Cold War MP5. It has an insane time to kill, up to about 10 meters. When I put those, the laser and maybe a barrel and the agency suppressor, that goes to about 12 meters, 13 meters, so it's about right here where a lot of the base guns are for their damage fall off. So just something to think about, that it's a very aggressive gun, and you got to make sure that you're pushing kids very aggressively to stay competitive with that time to kill. The Cold War AK is very, very good. You can see all the way down here. At these ranges, it doesn't really matter, but it just shows you how strong the gun is. And then we do have the Bullfrog on chest shots, and we have the PPSH on chest shots, neck and neck right here with the blue and the orange. And then we're going to see the green and the pink ones, which is going to be the Milano and the MAC-10. Milano actually beats out the MAC-10 now, and it has a larger damage fall off. I don't think the MAC-10 is going to be it anymore. For me personally, like when I look at these stats, it's just not it for me. So those are going to be chest shots. Let's go ahead and take a look at headshots. So headshots, this is where the Bullfrog comes in. So when they did the rework with the Bullfrog 3 or 4 different times now, they've nerfed different ranges with it, the overall and minimum damages, but the headshot multiplier has always been the same. So if you look at this time to kill, if you mix in 1 headshot or even 2 headshots on your spray with the Bullfrog, it even beats out the Cold War MP5, which is almost unheard of. So that's why you see a lot of these pro players using the Bullfrog, because of how good the damage headshot multiplier is, and it's just something to think about. Same kind of graph with the MP5 with this lighter blue one, and then we have the AK-47 for the headshot as well. And then those guns haven't lost any of their damage. It's just that the Bullfrog gained so much because of that. And then we do have the PPSH, pretty competitive. And then the Milano and the MAC-10 up here, still not really competitive. Stomach shots, if you're drop shotting, you might hit their stomach. If you're pointing up, you know what I mean? Definitely something to think about. The Cold War MP5 blows out of the water. So the torso is where you're going to be hitting most of your shots, chest and stomach, right? So Cold War MP5 wins that one. And then let's see, we got the Bullfrog that's competitive. PPSH is competitive with the Bullfrog. And then the MAC-10, I guess, has a good stomach multiplier, which I did not know. And then we have the AK as well, competitive right there. And then the other two are not. Extremities, which is going to be a little bit more difficult, because usually in those close range fights, when you're in your SMG fights, extremities may not be as big of a factor as an AR when you're tracking, but nonetheless, we'll take a look at them. Do have the MP5 holding true at every single part of the body that you hit, so just remember that when you are using it. Cold War AK, and then the rest are kind of bundled up right here with the PPSH coming in at third, Bullfrog, and then the MAC-10 and Milano. So something to think about. I love looking at these charts. Stats aren't everything. Feel is just as equally important, but when you're coming across little Timmy or Jimmy in a rose skin, TTV, FBGG, YT, sub 2, TikTok, whoever, you're going to make sure that you have the better gun in the fight when you're hitting your shots, because you know that they probably will too. So that'll do it for the loadout video. Hope you guys enjoy your week. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for watching, vibing with me the rest of this video. Enjoy it. I'll see you guys next stream.